Hey there, Byron.
What's going on, Andrew?
What if Marvel created a cartoon? That's fucking all I got.
Well, sounds like they did, because they have a show called What If?
Basically, it's taking the Marvel universe that you know and love and just but adding spins on it. Like, what if Black Panther played out the exact same way, but instead Tony Stark was in the middle? What if Captain America, the first Avenger, played out literally the exact same way, but what if Peggy Carter got the serum? And it's animated because one, Marvel wanted to dip their toes in animation, and two, and the most importantly, they didn't have to pay these fuckers as much if they were doing this all in live action. So here we have Marvel's What If. And Byron, what you haven't seen everything. I've seen the entire series. But what you have seen, what's your thoughts on it so far?
I feel like after Loki and what happens in that show, this is sort of like hey, this is going to be a taste of what future Marvel projects could look like now that there is a multiverse. It could even be what things might look like in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. But other than that, it's fine. It's not anything like super impactful or anything like super entertaining. It's just fine.
Yep, I'm in the same bracket. Each episode is entirely different, but like they just vary range from quality. There's a couple like legit good ones. Most are just eh. I don't think there is a straight up bad one though. So there's that. One I think hands down the best one is the Doctor Strange episode 4.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, the series kind of peaks at that. That's pretty much what like captures what if I think should be. Because most of the times, like I said, the episodes are just kind of throwaway ideas, or like they have good ideas but just weird execution. When I first heard of What If, I thought like, oh, like what if stories in Marvel, that could be interesting because in my head I'm going back to like the DC versions of like What If, or what is it, the Elseworlds? That's what it was, Elseworlds, like DC Elseworlds, where they do like what it like Gotham by Gaslight, where like what if Batman existed in the Victorian era, or like
I see what you mean.
yeah, and like he's going up against Jack the Ripper, and then like or like Superman Red Sun, which is like what if Superman's like when he was a baby, what if his pod crash land in Russia rather than Kansas, and like how that shit would shake up. But then like the first trailer, I think at Comic-Con or whatever, like debuted, and it was basically like what if like Peggy Carter took the serum? It's like, okay, that could work. Like, or what if the Ravagers picked up T'Challa instead of Star-Lord? And it's like, oh, that's dumb. Like, and then like they just have very weak ideas for what if, and there was like one or two episodes that I think showed promise, like how like what if series should go.
I feel like it's like how you said. It's like it's just kind of like, well, let's just do the same story, but then just tweak a thing here and there, and then maybe add like an Easter egg to kind of like whet the audience's appetite.
And pretty much, I think like with the other stories they've got going on, I think there's a couple stories that I do like. I like the is it episode 3 where like the Avengers are getting popped off and clapped, and it's like a murder mystery. But like the problem that I have with pretty much the entire series in general is whoever's writing the jokes or the humor, you need to stop. These jokes are so oddly timed and forced that it sucks all enjoyment out.
He's a Caucasian male, mid-20s, with really great hair.
Excuse me?
It's an accurate description.
I don't know how you felt about that.
I mean, that's very like kind of on brand with Marvel, though. I feel like a lot of their jokes have never really, at least to me, have never really been that funny. But I do agree. I definitely feel like a lot of the episodes kind of feel awkward, and that may have something to do with not just the jokes, but with the animation as well.
Yeah, we could talk about the animation real quick. The animation in general, I think the action scenes are like the standouts. I think they're like the most fluid, the most like well animated. You can tell like a lot of time and energy went to the action scenes and making sure that they were fucking tight. But when it comes like the characters actually talking or the scenes in between, it's very weird. The lips don't always sync up with what the characters are saying.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Although I still assert my plan was not without its merits.
It was just awkward.
Yeah, definitely at times it seems like, yeah, like I said before, it's like very stiff. It feels like, at least for those scenes, yeah, it seems like everything is, they're all kind of locked up. Almost like you're kind of watching action figures kind of just get moved around. But yeah, I mean, it's not like the best animation I've ever seen.
I don't really know what to like to blame though, because like animators, they get mercilessly fucked over by the film industry. So I don't know if like those animation flaws have things like something to do with like they just didn't have enough time to fully like dedicate themselves to make sure everything was on par, so they only decided to like put most of their attention towards like action scenes or whatever.
At least for me, I mean, I don't know obviously what Marvel's planning to do with any of these characters that are introduced. So this is just kind of a fun throwaway series. This is just something that it's like, hey, like I said before, a sampling of like what future projects could look like, and this is something like a time waster in between waiting for Eternals and the Hawkeye series or Spider-Man or whatever's next.
Another thing I wanted to bring up real quick before we just close our thoughts. The voice acting. I think there was one or two actors that were really good at voice acting. Everyone else, it is so goddamn obvious that they are not used to voice acting. I love you, Sebastian Stan, but your line readings in animation form are awkward as shit.
I'm here for Sergeant Barnes.
Who are you supposed to be? Queen of England?
Yeah, I feel like at sometimes like at first I was like, oh, is this an episode where they didn't have this particular actor? But then they said, no, he's in this episode. So I'm like, oh, it doesn't sound like him, which is weird. Like, why does it not sound like him?
I was gonna say, and with that, like normally I would say like for like MCU projects that I am not really a fan of, I would say like, oh, just check it out. Like if you want to stay up with the MCU. With this, I don't think like it's not that necessary. It's not essential viewing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You can watch it, be fine with it. I'm never gonna watch it again.
Yeah, I agree. It's if you're bored and you don't want to wait until November for Eternals, yeah, watch it, because it'll kind of hold you over until then. Because yeah, I don't think anything else is coming out until Eternals. I think that's like kind of the next one down the line. So yeah, that's just really it. It's just a whatever kind of show.
Fuck it, goodbye.